Hello there. Good morning. Good morning, world. If anybody is joining me, I think I might be the only one up besides the penguins. And, we're addicted to watches, and so are you. And that's why you're here too. So thank you for joining me. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay, as long as this show survives. Because, you got to give credit to where credit's due. I think Archie and I are the only watch guys that just throw up a stream off the cuff. I mean, to come on without topics. What I mean to say. I mean, we can create watch content out of thin air without having a topic. And I have no idea what the hell I'm going to talk about today. Oh, well, that's not true. I'm going to talk about watches. But, yeah, I mean, Archie Luxury truly loves the watch hobby. So does Clivers and myself. And that's why we do this, for the passion. I mean, I've had private conversation with Archie and the rancher many times, and they talk about watches on the air and off the air. It's a common footing for us. I'm enjoying a very hot cup of hot cocoa. So hot, I gotta sip it so I don't burn my mouth. And nothing's gonna go better with that hot cocoa than a cigarette. Some good old Indian tobacco. Indian tobacco. So, Geezer, how are you, Geezer? Yeah, the sequel. Hello. 10:51. Time to wake up. Oh, I'm catching a good time here in the UK. That's good. That's nice. Hey, Thomas, if you happen to be watching, say hello in the chat, man. I'll throw you a link. I haven't been sending a link to anybody for any of my shows, to be quite honest. I was watching my Omega Snoopy show. If you haven't seen that, I'll throw a link up in the corner for yous. On if you're watching the replay, look up in the upper left corner, and there'll be a link here for you to check that out. But the my Chasing Watches stream, in which I discussed the new Snoopy that I'm going to be acquiring. I did that stream solo, Han Solo. And shit, man, I got 1,400 views on that video since I did it a few days ago. That's Archie Luxury numbers, huh? I haven't had 1,400 views on a video since Victor used to be on here with me. So I think people are really liking the new Snoopy and the notion of it being picked up and discussed and loved and played with. And I got to tell you, I think that Snoopy is going to be the superstar of my box. I think the Snoopy is going to be the superstar in my watch box. I rewatched my Omega video and I'm fascinated by it. I reminded myself about all the little features it has. It's very gimmicky. So let's talk about that. The topic at hand for today is what watches do we what watches interest us? What watches would we pull the trigger on today? What watches would we typing skills? Hold on. Why does it keep deleting here? What watches would we buy today? So let's see. Sorry it took me so long to log in. I was clearing my cookies and all of that in an attempt to see if European Watch Company updated their site. And I thought maybe the problem was on my end, but I was mistaken. I'm really unhappy with my favorite company's website because it has an ugly white background and the numbers don't line up. It basically isn't iMac friendly. I'm assuming if you go to a regular computer, it's going to a DOS Microsoft operating system. It'll probably look okay. The new Rolex is, well, that's an older Rolex here, but the new Rolexes kind of don't do anything for me. I'm really all for that new Snoopy. Let's see what they got here from Omega. Maybe they have one. I don't think they do. I like that Ultraman. I would pull the trigger on an Ultraman, especially with all this Omega hype going on. You know, this watch has been up here for a hell of a long time, and nobody's pulled the trigger at $92.50. You know, I'd make them an offer on it if I wasn't already neck deep in watches. But I mean, Geezer, do you like this watch, the Ultraman? I mean, it's limited to 2,000 pieces. That's not. That's only 313 pieces more than the Snoopy, I think, than the 45th anniversary Snoopy. And the thing about it is, more than any of all that, it's just a good-looking watch, and it's a dot over 90 bezel, and it's a manual wind. Oh, it looks like somebody bought it and put it on hold. I mean, I think this is a great-looking watch. Oh, look at the buckle. It even says Speedy Tuesday on it, and it still had the wraps on it. Yeah, this was a good watch. This is a good watch. I would just as well have this in my collection as any of my Rolexes. I mean, having a vintage Speedmaster like I do, having the new Snoopy coming like I do, wishing that I had the 45th or even the 40th anniversary, I think it was, Snoopy. I wish I had those. This is another watch here that I'm going to wish I had. That I don't. And it's quite limited. I mean, it really is limited at 2,000 pieces. That's pretty limited. Man, I'm a very big fan of the Snoopy one. After looking at it, you know, I can't blow my entire damn retirement savings on watches. How else can I say it? But I've told you guys, Snoopy one at $9,000, $9,400 all day long. We looked at it, was a bargain, was a steal, was a deal, was something that I should have in my collection. Snoopy 1, 2, and 3. You know? And Snoopy 2's gone completely berserk with the pricing, and Snoopy 1 has only just started going up. I mean, I think it's already up beyond what I would want to pay for it. And then I know it's stupid to say, but you know, it's stupid to say that even though it's gone up a couple of $1,000, it's that it's not worth the money. Because if you, my opinion is, don't even wait too long. That you're going to see that Snoopy 1 just go up and up and up and up. I mean, the only reason it hasn't spiked like the second one and possibly like the third one is because it just has very simple speciality to it. It's just painted. It just has a painted case back and nothing else. So it's very plain, simple. The 9 o'clock is just a plain Snoopy, just painted. Nothing else is special about the watch, really. So, but I'm recognizing the fact that it's a Snoopy 1. It's limited. The nostalgia of the watch, all of that stuff, the collectability, it's all there. All the elements are there for that watch. And everybody will realize that at some point. I'm no expert, but I am an expert consumer. I'm no different than any of you gents out there. Other than, I dedicate a lot of my time investigating watches, talking about watches, and I put my money where my mouth is. I buy them. I've been admiring Jorn for 2.5 years, 2 years, however long it's been. I'm not chasing no hype. My biggest, by far, my biggest watch purchase that I will ever make is going to go into a Jorn, which could possibly, lose my shirt in it one day, but I'm not buying it for that. Yeah, it's a dot over 92. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I like this watch a lot. I wonder if the first Snoopy's a dot over 90. Yeah, we dig this watch. Seamaster. I mean, that's a great watch for the price. Right? They got 2 of them there. Great watch for the price. Broad arrow, hand. Not something I'd pull the trigger on, though. I'd pull the trigger on this. We're talking about what we would pull the trigger on. I'd pull the trigger on this Ultraman. I like this. Don't ask me about the price. I have no idea whether the price is in line, but this watch looks pretty minty for a 1970, and I just think it's amazingly cool. I mean, you got that unique vintage throwback, that case. I mean, it's kind of cool. Omega built upon this case. What is it called? The X33. Some of those space watches they've made. It looks like they've derived the case from this this heritage here. Right? Attractive watch. I like this. I don't know if it's worth $4,500. If this is worth $4,500, I mean, if that's the going rate for this watch, you know, this is a fun watch. I'd pull the trigger on that. Fun watch. And then there's the infamous Snoopy. I would not pull the trigger at $42,500. Is this watch going to be a $100,000 watch one day? Let's talk about that. Does anybody here think this watch will? When this watch was $15,000, none of you, including myself, would have imagined it going to 42.5 here list. So that being said, could this watch ever go to 100,000? That's the question here. Hey, check that out. I just noticed that the strap. What does the strap look like? You know what the strap looks like? It looks like a dog collar. Isn't that cool? It looks like a dog collar. Very cool. I like that. I don't know if that was meant to be, but first thing I thought when I saw this was it looks like a dog collar. You know, why didn't they make this one dot over 90? Especially if the watch that went to space was a dot over 90. So why would they leave that minute detail out? Anybody? Anyone? Why would they mess that up? This watch is stunning. And I'm going to admit, I was too sucked up in Rolex to spend my money on this watch. I knew about this watch. I've talked about it on the show many times. I've expressed my desire for this watch many times. Thing is once it blew past a certain figure, like 18 grand, I threw it out of my mind. I've just put it out of my mind. But I knew because of that embedded silver pin in the back, I knew that was special. We talked about it. When this watch was $25,000, I talked about how special that pin is in the back. Maybe your friend Rich Buddy helped drive the price up on this watch by talking about this damn pin in the back. Did you notice that when I was looking for my GMT2, that 1 year special production watch, they were all over the place. Did you notice that right when I did that live stream, there were none left? You can't find that watch online. Not a single damn one. And then the price went up. You know, $6,000. But you can't even find one. Forget about it. You just can't even find one. So, what can you say? Right. And that was my problem. That's one of the reasons why I didn't get this one, was because there were many watches ahead of the Silver Snoopy on my list. And I didn't want that to happen with this new Omega Snoopy that came out. So I forced myself to pull the trigger on it. Is that it? Oh, look, here's the Olympic Games one. Olympic Games 2020. Oh, no. It's just Olympic Games. I don't think it's anything special. Doesn't say Japan or anything on it. Oh, it says Beijing. Oh no, it just shows all the Olympics. So it's just nothing special. Cool though. Oh, I like that. That's neat. Pretty ugly caliber though, isn't it? Looks a little crude. A bit crude. A bit nasty. Well, it's very, very cookie cutter watch right here, isn't it? I don't like that one bit. Let's see what they have incoming. The incoming doesn't have any prices listed. Okay, the AP. There's a watch I pulled the trigger on today. I pulled the trigger. I got one of these hopefully coming. We'll see. So this is a pull the trigger watch. I can't get over how many YouTube videos and things, just all the positive positive news on this watch. Everybody loves the Royal Oaks. They're just absolutely beautiful. Oh man, do not. I don't condone the Kona beer that I was drinking earlier. Man, that gave me such a hangover in the evening. Yeah, that Kona IPA I drank at the beach earlier. That gave me a hangover the same night. I got over it with a lot of water and some sleep. This Rolex GMT Transitional 1982. Isn't that gorgeous? Now that's beautiful. How much do you reckon that's going to go for? Make sure you're in 1080 so you can see how beautiful this watch is. That is absolutely stunning. Oh my. I would pull the trigger on this. This is absolutely amazing. Man, forget a vintage sub. Forget a vintage Pepsi. This is better than both of those. That looks amazing. I wonder what price that will fetch. What do you think they're going to want for this? Wow. That's beauty. That's why Rolex commands such respect and high dollars. Because look at what they make. It's absolutely beautiful. Wow. Imagine wearing that. That just would look so fresh. It's gorgeous. Now here's a Platinum Sovereign. $2017. I mean, these things don't go for cheap. I pulled the trigger on that. That's beautiful. So this is the same as my Havana, but just with a soft white dial instead of it's an eggshell dial instead of Havana brown. That's beautiful. In the platinum again in the platinum, it's just stunning. Come on, this runs circles around a 5196, but it also costs double the use price of a. Well, that's not true. The price of a 5196 went up $5,000. I don't think you can touch a 5196 for less than $19,000 now. I caught 10 minutes of the Archie Luxury show from yesterday, and I saw them shredding on Chrono 24. Yeah, nobody likes Chrono 24. Chrono 24 is just a ripoff. Does anybody know if Chrono 24 makes you pay for the shipping? Or is the shipping part of the commission so you don't have to pay the shipping? Do they charge you the shipping separately? Man, you don't even get the shipping. For a 13% feed, they get 13% on the sale of your watch, and they're not even going to cover the shipping. Mind you, you're also paying for your own insurance. So, what a ripoff. And like Archie Luxury tried to do earlier today, he put in his Patek price, what he wants to sell it for. And he said, it's not feasible. It's not feasible on Chrono 24. It's like, I have to raise the price by 6.5%. And the buyer has to add 6.5% on top of that because there's a buyer fee too. So you're paying 13% more than you would on Watch Recon or on Rolex forums or somewhere Watch You Seek or wherever the else you're going to sell it. Those watches are basically going for. So if I see something on Chrono 24, I'm going to expect it to be basically it's marked up by 6.5% because you're only seeing the seller side of it. The other 6.5% comes later. So as far as the list price is affected, the list prices on Chrono 24 are not true to what real market value is. They're overinflated by 6.5%. Exactly. Because I don't think anybody on there is willing to take a 6.5% loss on their watch. So they're going to raise the price, just like Archie Luxury did in his example, to 6.5%. The shipping is quoted separately. Gotcha. Hey, what's up, Mac? Seeing the case back removed on an old Rolex to prove the movement is genuine completely puts me off. Hate the thought of a watch being tampered with and much prefer brand new from an AD. Oh, yeah, that's always the risk in it. But, you know, when we're buying the vintage watches, we want to see the pictures of what's in it. I mean, I have the pictures of my 1016 that I bought. That way, when I resell the watch to somebody else, I'm going to keep those pictures and forward them those pictures. And, you know, when I go for a service, I've been meaning to take that 1016 for a service. When I take it for a service, I'll take my camera and take several photos of it too. So that if I do sell it, then there's freshly dated pictures to a seller so he knows what's in it. And that's the only reason. I mean, that's the why they do it. But yeah. Yeah, new watches is the way to go. If and that's how I've gone with everything. It's only been recently I've taken the risk of diving into some vintage stuff. So now I've got 3. Or I mean, I don't think you'd count my day date as a vintage, but my Universal Genève is certainly vintage. It's damn near antique. The Omega 68, and then the Polar 1016, not Polar, Rolex 1016. So Jorn puts the serial number on the outside of the case. You see where it's whited out there on the right? I never even noticed that until just right now, literally, to be honest. Looks like he puts the serial number of the watch right there on the outside of the case. Boy, that platinum versus the gold provides a bright contrast, doesn't it? I like how the inside of the strap is also hard crocodile or alligator or whatever they use. I don't know what that would feel like. I've been very curious as to how that's going to feel. Is it going to have a cold feeling? Feeling the hard leather on the inside as well as on the outside? Is it going to have a cold feeling? Is it going to be more comfortable because is it glossy and slick on the inside as it is on the out? Yeah, it's kind of curious. I'm curious. Yeah, Mac. No, I agree with you. It's scary. It can be that, a minefield, as Archie says, a minefield. So, oh, the Rolex Deep Sea James Cameron. That's something I would pull the trigger on right here. You guys know that's on my bucket list of watches to buy. Somebody the other day said they don't like the text of the original gas escape valve ring lock system on the chapter ring there, but I like it. I like that. I like this watch. There's no Cyclops. This is a great watch. I pull the trigger on that. So there's quite a few watches that I've looked at already. Let's see if there's any Patek Philippe's here I'd pull the trigger on. The 3940. It's interesting that I passed that watch up. I think one of the main reasons I passed this one up is because it's in yellow gold. And I mean, look at it. It has a very vintage, old vibe to it. It really does look dated from the 80s. The yellow gold has everything to do with that. I got to see one of these 3940 J's in person to appreciate it. I really have to see that yellow gold in person on this specific watch to know whether is it just me looking at it in pictures that I don't appreciate it in that sense. I think it's dated looking. And in real life, is it going to come alive? Anybody else get that feeling, that vibe from this 3940 every time it comes up? It just looks old. What do you guys think? That's the main reason why I didn't pull the trigger on the 3940. And I went with the Journe, because if I'm going to get a 3940, I got to go platinum. The platinum just brings it up to date. I love the platinum version, but the platinum version is $65,000. What do you mean? He didn't get his AP damaged. I don't think he had an AP damaged. And gold AP. Which gold AP? I think the only gold AP he had was the chronograph. The Royal Oak chronograph, which he doesn't have anymore. I don't think he has another gold AP, but I don't think it ever got damaged. I recollect something. I recollect something sounds familiar about what you're talking about, but I don't think anything got damaged. Yeah. I mean, you can still do that. You can still do that. You can still call them up and even buy the watch directly from them. Just don't tell them that you saw the watch on Chrono 24, because some of them will respect the listing because they know Chrono 24 has trolls out there checking to see if people are going to try to bypass Chrono 24 like I did. But honestly, you know, that was going to be very selective. Chrono 24 really screwed that up because, they provided some service with that stupid insured shipping kind of thing. But look, I got my own insurance now, so I can ship a watch anywhere. Now it's insured. But like I said, if you see value in the service and you use it, they get paid. If there's no value in the service, they don't get paid, just like any other business. But to hold a knife to your throat and say, look, man, you're going to sell your watch our way, or we're going to exile you from our website. I mean, that's what they did to me. And, I mean, I like Germans. My uncle is German, but I don't like German cunts. They're a bunch of German cunts. So, you know what? What do they say? Any press is good press. So I'm sure they don't like. I'm sure they're enjoying the bad publicity that they get on my channel, on Archie Luxury channels. Because the next time I go on Archie Luxury's channel, I'll bring it up since he already brought it up, and we'll talk some smack on Chrono 24 some more. Oh, I see, a little scratch, huh? Yeah, that's the worst, especially on an AP. That would be the worst. And you know what happened after those watches? After he sold that watch to Roman Scharf, and I told him it was a good idea. And now the watch went up 20 grand, I think. So he's kind of bummed that he sold that watch. And then they got harder to get. It seems like everything got harder to get right after too. So I'm going to try to go back to bed here soon. It's oh good, it's only 3:30. Oh man, guys, I thought it was 4:30. Thank goodness it's 3:30. So I can still get like 3 hours sleep. Try to get 2 or 3 hours sleep. You know, what is the size on this? 35 millimeter. That's too small. Forget that. That's beautiful. This is absolutely gorgeous. 46,000. You know, I'm not 100% on the price on this, but I would pull the trigger on this watch. Platinum with that gorgeous gray dial. It's an odd chronograph function, having it all in one sub-dial like that. Does anybody know how that works? Anybody know how that chronograph works? Is it basically yeah, well, what is it? What the hell is it? What's that blue dot? Is the blue dot the counterweight on the end of the chronograph hand? Yeah, it is. No, that's on the dial. That's a painting on the dial. So what does that big blue dot at 6 mean? Is that just to kind of make a basis for your eye reference? So it looks like the watch can count. Yeah, basically an hour, because it's got the 30-minute counter, and then you're naturally going to know that it's already been 30 minutes, and now the second time it goes around, you're using the second reference, which is in blue. So now you're looking at 35 minutes, 40, 45, 50, 55, an hour. So it's a 1 hour max chronograph, but it's basically a 30-minute counter only is what it actually is. It's a 30-minute counter. I mean, if you fall asleep and wake up real quickly, you're not going to know if your chronograph ran for 25 minutes or 55 minutes. You don't know if you have slept for 25 minutes or 55 minutes because there's no, yeah. I'm not sure if I dig that. I'm not sure if I dig that at all. I like a 30-minute counter on the Paddock World Time. I think it perfectly belongs there. But I'm not sure if I'm digging this complication. But it is an annual calendar. It is an annual calendar. I like those old style pushers where they're unprotected and they soar out like that, like Archie's horns. And I like the color scheme. I do like the look of that sub-dial. The color of the whole color scheme. It's kind of casino-ish. Oh, there's some beautiful engraving there on around the center. And it's a large watch, 40. It's a 40, so it'll wear well. I mean, this watch would look pretty stunning, and it's got luminesse too. You see the leaf hands have super luminova on them. A lot of Pateks don't have luminance. Yeah, I haven't been a fan of those either, Mason. The way the windows are. Yeah, you know, I've never really talked about those watches too often because I'm never too much interested in them. What's up, Shot in the Dark? How are you? Um, if I'm one to be okay with that 30-minute style chronograph, I'd pull the trigger on that. It's just that, I mean, I'd pull the trigger on that because I like the look of that watch. But for 46,000, I'm not feeling the function of that 30-minute counter there. So now this is, oh my God, this is crazy. This is crazy. Someone bought this already. This is crazy. That is amazing. Wow. I mean, it's so different with just that plain white print all about. No deviation, even the white hands, just so simple. But I don't know, there's something about it. It looks great. Man, it looks great. Very legible, and it's got the micro rotor. Look how cool that is. Man, look how cool that is. Wow. Wow. That's beauty. Look at that. That's beautiful. Oh man, that's amazing. But you see how I mean the platinum, the case, the white metal case makes it look so much more modern than 3940 that usually just comes in yellow for the most part. Well, I mean for the price. Again, a 3940. This same watch in platinum in the 3940, 20, even though it's 30 years old, is the same price as this watch you're looking at here. Go figure. And this is a brand new watch. I don't know what the MSRP on this is. That's just amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah, the James Cameron. And that's where I would get it. I mean, I would get it from the AD if I get that one day. But yeah. Oh, you think it should be a sunburst gray? Let me see. Let's see. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, the light probably has a lot of effect on this dial. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, isn't it? 73 grand, man. Ridiculous. Look at the price on the aqua. The price on the Aquanauts went up. You know, these went down to about 36.8. 36.8. That's what they had them listed for. 36.8. So they went up 10%. Is it because of the price hike? Probably, huh? Probably. Because of the 10% price hike. Now it's panned down to the used market. And this is 4 years old, this watch. You know, a 2020 is probably going to be for $45,000, $46,000, right? Like if I just got mine brand new, it's going to go for a lot of money, right? Here we go. 10-day tourbillon. Look at that. That's a big boy watch. 10-day power reserve. 240-hour power reserve. How do you like that? Wow. Wow. I'd have to trade in my whole box after I get my Journe to get this watch. But look, it would not be a crazy thing to do. You know, it would not be a crazy thing to do. This watch is bonkers above anything that's could possibly ever go in my box. Nothing could ever be as amazing as a watch like this. And this is so under the radar. You're not showing off your tourbillon on the front dial. You see, it says tourbillon, but you don't get to see it. There's not many tourbillons that are hidden on the front dial, is there? Mostly they're usually shown off. You know, especially when they're sort of considered to be a useless complication. Well, then why is it even there if you're not showing it, right? Is that true? Wow. But look at that side profile. Isn't that mean? That's just a mean. Look at that. Look at that watch. That would just be freaking. I think this watch is about 200. I think this watch was about, I think it was $250,000 MSRP when it came out. I'm not sure though. Crazy. See, here's another watch with that yellow gold. It just makes it look dated, like back from the 80s. Well, look at that's interesting how it says month. It's written month. This is a true Tiffany dial because of the big giant T at 12 o'clock. Let's see what the case back looks like. Looks like a pocket watch. I got to order archive certificates for my Speedmaster. You know, I'm going to ask my Omega boutique to do me a favor and order those for me since I'm buying a watch from them. What do you think? Yeah, huh? Let's get that in the works. Let's get that in the works. Where's my pen so I could write that down? Omega certificate. Man, I already paid for that Snoopy in full. So it's coming, 100%. I'm getting a Snoopy. You guys like these 5270s? You guys like these? Hmm. Fucking bugs crawling all over me, man. Jesus. That was a big spider. I knew something was crawling on me. Look at that clutch. So that's one of the things you're buying it for right there. The beauty of the mechanism. It's all those 32 joules at work. Yeah. That's a grail. That is a grail. Look how they chin the subdial there to keep the scale. A 5004. That's one of the most impressive watches in the world right there. One of the most impressive watches in the world. Wow. Very rare. Oh man, my hip's starting to go out on me. That damn hip. Man, a lot of people have hip problems. I was watching a documentary about Eddie Van Halen, and he had the same damn thing too. Put it off for 3 years, just like I put it off for 3 years. Well, I haven't put it off exactly. Nobody knew what was wrong with me. So I'm ready for surgery. All right. I like that watch, but hey. Oh, this one right here. I pulled the trigger on this. That's one of the most incredibly beautiful watches around right now. In the black dial in particular here. The font on the subdial and the track is just amazing. It's so, I don't know, like 1920s. I just love this watch. This watch is freaking amazing. And to not get this instead of the The Jorn that I got. That's a tough call to not get this watch. Look at that. Tell you, if I was going to get any Patek, it'd be this one right here. This exact watch. That's the best Patek out there. Right here. That's the sharpest looking Patek Philippe on the market. .39mm. That's the best Patek on the market, man, right there. That's the only Patek anybody ever needs. I'll get that watch one day. That'll be one of my Pateks one day. I can take the 5196. No, you know, the 5196 is a pure, simple, pretty gold dress watch, man. I wouldn't get rid of that either. This is a watch to get into. All right, so far, this is the number one watch of the night right here. Of all the watches I've looked at thus far, this would be my number one pick. I'm glad we did this because I reminded myself about this watch. This is the best one. I'm not sure what 57,500 is. Is that MSRP? Is that below? I think it's below. I'm going to say that's well below MSRP, right? So you don't even need to wait for this watch. You know, forget Turno and how they treat their customers by not coming through with their side of their contract. I could just buy this and just say in your face. I mean, I don't care if the 5167 is going for a premium and this one isn't. I mean, this blows the hell out of an Aquanaut. Bam, you know, Aquanaut. You get the Aquanaut in your hand. You're going to have it on a steel bracelet. You know, would you rather have an Aquanaut with a steel bracelet and a rubber bracelet, or would you rather have this chronograph? Which is it? I think this is classy sports. Like, this is getting your 911 and drive in your 911 with the coolest freaking watch that would ever match that kind of a lifestyle. The Aquanaut, on the other hand, is, I do both those lifestyles. The Aquanaut's the beach. Like, you guys saw me at the beach. I mean, imagine busting that Aquanaut, kicking it with the Aquanaut at the beach. Oh, man. It's so hard, isn't it? It's so hard. Just got to get them both. Fuck. I don't know what an Aquanaut looks like. I've never seen one. Not even in the used shelf have I seen an Aquanaut. Yeah. 5170, where are we at? You're doing okay, shot. I've been having a good few days. I want to say 3 days. I've had a good 3 days. You see me getting up and moving around. But shit, man, when I have a bad week or a bad 2 weeks or a bad 3 weeks, man, it's bad for that long. Jesus Christ, it's bad. Yeah, this 5170 is amazing. You know, if all the moons align and I take all the right appropriate medications the right way, and who knows, maybe it has to do with, well, it definitely has to do with my activity. If I haven't had any activity, then there's no inflammation and you end up having a good few days. Grand Classique. Oh, there you are, geezer. Yeah, that's amazing, man. I don't think it has blued hands, this one. Oh, but you're talking about the ALS. Oh, I got you. We'll jump into Lang. We'll go into Lange next. Let's see. This one is definitely on my bucket list, right? We'll see where life goes, man. A lot of it has to do with how investments do. This one right here is just freaking. This is just out of my mind. This one just puts me out of my mind. This watch right here is so incredibly beautiful, and what really sets it off, what really sets this watch off, is the all the gold subdial hands. All the little gold subdial hands really set this watch off. It's truly a marvel. Look at this thing. You know, this might fall into the category of best watch for $109,500. If you're going to spend $109,500 on a watch, you know, I'd buy this one. I mean, is there something else at $109,000 that could possibly be, you get your money value out of it? Look at that, the gold hands, how they just set the watch off. Stunning. Advanced research. It's got all these special patented systems that Patek made that I have not much of a clue what they are. Maybe we'll have to look into them one day. All their advanced research technology, where they're trying to push the curve in watch science. All right, let's jump to Lange before I fade out 100%. Well, that's kind of happening, so let's just do this real quick. Lange. Which one did you like? Oh yeah, right. The movements. The they're not going to have that watch here, but 1815 Chrono White. Oh, that one right there, maybe. That's kind of similar to the one you mentioned. It's got the blued hands. It's an 1815, except it's an homage, so these things cost double the price. Something like this, though, right? You like something like this, though. Why is it so hella thick, though? It looks hella thick, doesn't it?
It's 4 o'clock.
It's 4 o'clock. My computer just told me it's 4 o'clock. All right. Similar, yeah. Gorgeous, yeah. I haven't looked at their site in a while, to be honest. So this was kind of cool going here and checking out their site and seeing what they got. Oh, look, they've had this Odysseus for a while, huh? Nobody seems to be biting at 66,000. You know, yeah, really, Lange, the world time, the time zone. I mean, that's the best time zone watch of any brand, of any time watch whatsoever. I don't ever need one, but if I needed a world timer, this is where I would spend my money. You've got AM, PM indicators for each separate clock. You have a separate clock for the second time zone. And there's no guessing or looking around the dial to figure out what time it is. You just set it to the destination city, Bangkok, and bam, there's Bangkok's clock. AM, PM. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any better than that to read a world timer having its own separate clock. Man, that this watch right here is just magnificent. Because do you understand it? You know, having its own separate clock that accounts for the daylight saving time, all that BS. You know, just forget all that BS. Just have your own clock. Yeah, this watch is just truly amazing. The only way they could one up this watch is by putting a second date window for the international window and having the 2 date windows. Wouldn't that be crazy? That would be a feat of watchmaking, right? Having a second date wheel, like a minute, one that's smaller, let's say half the size of that window, or even a quarter size of that window, and have it offset somewhere by the international window. That would be amazing. But that would probably be a little too much setting, a little too much stuff to set. But that is just amazing. I mean, you almost want to get this watch, even if you don't use international time zones. You almost want to get this watch because this is what watches are really all about, telling you the time. And how much better can a watch get than telling you the time in every time zone around the world, or in most time zones around the world? I mean, that's the most time telling you can get. That's the most time telling information you can get. That's as good as it gets. That's 10 out of 10. That's getting all the information you could possibly need. You know? Yeah. I mean, I would use this function more than I would a data graph's chronograph. I have zero need for a chronograph function. You're really buying it just for the art. But if you wanted to buy it for art and function, you'd be buying something more like this. Man, there's nothing wrong with this case back. That's really neat how they put the gear on top like that. Very beautiful. The new ones? No, I haven't seen the new ones. But I like them in a white gold or platinum. And 28.5, it's, you know, about $14,000 cheaper than a data graph. All right, guys, that's all my back and my hip can take. Surprisingly, my foot doesn't hurt tonight. That usually hurts more than anything. Sometimes I want to chop my foot off. All right. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, wouldn't it be cool having a second date window? All right, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Have a good night. Have a good day. I'm going to sleep.